Have you ever noticed a strange smell? Even after showering and changing clothes, you cleaned thoroughly, used soap, even sprayed a bit of cologne. But that subtle, musty, old people smell still lingered. The truth is, it's not about how often you bathe, it's about where you're cleaning. And for many older adults, the most odor-causing areas are the ones no one ever talks about. As we age, our skin chemistry changes. Our bodies produce more of a compound called 2-nonenal, a substance linked to that specific scent we often associate with aging. But here's the good news. That smell isn't inevitable. In fact, for most people, 99% of it can be reduced, or even eliminated, by regularly cleaning 5 areas that are almost always overlooked. These spots aren't where you'd expect, but they matter more than you think. In this video, we're diving into 5 unexpected parts of the body where odor builds up silently, even when everything else feels clean. And once you start giving these areas just a little extra care, you might be shocked at how fresh and confident you feel again every day. Stay tuned until the end, because once you hear the 5th one, you'll understand why no amount of soap, body spray, or even laundry detergent will fix the problem, unless you start here. Now let's get started. Number 1. Along the scalp line and behind the ears, there's a quiet little area most people forget during daily hygiene, and yet it's one of the biggest contributors to that musty, sour scent we often associate with age. It's the space behind your ears, stretching just along the crease where the scalp ends and the neck begins. This small patch of skin might seem harmless, but over time, it can hold on to more oil, dead skin, and bacteria than you'd expect. As we get older, the sebaceous glands, especially around the scalp and ears, continue to produce natural oils, but unlike in youth, the body becomes less efficient at shedding that oil, particularly when it mixes with dead skin cells and sweat. The result? A sticky residue that builds up quietly behind the ears and along the hairline. You might not feel it, you might not even smell it right away. But over time, it oxidizes, and that's when the scent becomes noticeable. Many older adults assume their scalp is clean just because they wash their hair. But the truth is, when you shampoo, you're usually focusing on the top and back of your head, not the lower sides near the ears or the nape of the neck. And if you're not using your fingers to gently scrub behind the ears each time, that buildup only grows day by day. Even wiping it with a damp cloth isn't enough. It needs friction, soap, and consistency. I once spoke with a woman named Margaret, 78, who said she felt self-conscious whenever someone hugged her from the side. She couldn't figure out why. Her clothes were fresh, her breath clean, her home spotless. But when we talked through her hygiene routine, she admitted she hadn't thought about scrubbing behind her ears in years. It just wasn't something anyone had ever told her to do. After adjusting that one habit twice a day with gentle soap and a fingertip massage, she told me it changed everything. "I feel like I smell like me again," she said. "This area might seem small, but it matters, because odor isn't always loud. It's subtle. It's that faint scent on a pillow, that whiff when someone leans in close. And when it comes from behind the ears, it's not masked by clothes or cologne. It's right there in the open. That's why cleaning this spot regularly, gently but thoroughly, can have an outsized impact on how fresh and confident you feel every single day. And if no one ever told you this before, you're not alone. But now that you know, your daily routine can start to work with you again, not against you. Number 2, inside the belly button. It might be one of the smallest parts of your body, but when it comes to hidden sources of odor, the belly button is a heavyweight. This tiny indentation is warm, dark, and often a little moist, especially if you're someone who sweats or has a belly that naturally folds over just slightly. And that makes it the perfect environment for bacteria, yeast, and dead skin cells to quietly gather and start giving off a scent you can't always trace. Many people assume that washing the stomach area takes care of the belly button, but unless you're intentionally cleaning inside it with a damp, soapy fingertip or a soft cloth, it likely isn't getting clean at all. And for older adults, especially those with reduced flexibility or a bit more abdominal tissue, this area gets even less attention. Over time, what builds up inside isn't just lint. It's a mix of sweat, skin flakes, oil, and microscopic debris that settles deep in the folds of the navel. And once that mixture sits for a day or two, it starts to produce a sour, earthy odor that clings to shirts, spreads to the waistband of pants, and can even transfer to furniture fabric over time. The worst part? You usually don't smell it yourself, because it's happening just beneath your nose's radar. I knew a gentleman named Harold, 81, who always kept his clothes crisp and his cologne subtle. But his wife gently told him one day that even after he bathed, something didn't smell quite right. After trying everything from changing his laundry detergent to switching body washes, they realized it was his belly button. He hadn't cleaned inside it in years. Just a simple cotton swab with warm water and soap once a day for a week was all it took. The smell disappeared, and he felt like a new man. The key is not to scrub hard or use anything sharp. You don't want to damage the skin or create irritation. A gentle touch is all you need. Warm water, a bit of mild soap, and a rinse with a clean cloth afterward. If you've never cleaned this area intentionally before, you might be surprised by how much better your entire midsection smells, just from this one adjustment. Because in the end, the belly button isn't just a leftover from birth. It's a real pocket of skin that needs care. And when you give it the attention it deserves, you remove one of the most persistent and most overlooked sources of odor that older adults face. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Underneath skin folds. As we age, our skin naturally becomes softer and more flexible. But for many, that also means the formation of small creases or folds around the neck, under the arms, beneath the breasts, and even across the belly or thighs. These folds often go unnoticed because they feel like part of the body's natural shape. But what many don't realize is that underneath those folds lies one of the most common and most intense sources of body odor in older adults. Why? Because these tucked-away areas trap moisture, warmth, and sebum, those natural skin oils that protect us, but also feed bacteria when they build up. And when sweat and oil get caught in a place that doesn't get a lot of air, bacteria thrive. They break down that moisture into odor-producing compounds, and that's when the distinctive scent starts to form. What's tricky is that this smell doesn't always stay in one place. It spreads subtly. A musty scent on a shirt collar, a damp odor coming from a bra, or a sourness that lingers even after a bath. It often traces right back to these warm, quiet folds of skin that haven't been properly aired out or cleaned. I remember a man named Albert, 76, who had begun showering twice a day because he felt like he could never quite, but no matter what soap he used, the scent always returned by evening. When I asked about his routine, he admitted he wasn't drying under his arms or under his belly. He was just letting water run over those spots. Once he started gently lifting and washing each fold, then fully drying them with a soft towel, everything changed. Not only did the odor disappear, he said he started sleeping better because he wasn't worried about what he smelled like anymore. The key here isn't just washing, it's being intentional. You don't need to scrub hard or use strong soap. Just warm water, a mild cleanser, and most importantly, thorough drying. A soft towel pressed into each fold for a few seconds does more than people expect. For those with deeper creases, a light dusting of cornstarch-based powder, fragrance-free and safe for sensitive skin, can help keep things fresh throughout the day. These are places we're often taught to overlook. We're told not to talk about them, not to fuss, but ignoring them doesn't make them go away. And when you finally give those areas the attention they need, you may be shocked at how much fresher, lighter, and more confident you feel, not just for an hour or two, but all day long. Number 4, inside the ear canal entrance. It might surprise you to hear this, but one of the most persistent sources of body odor in older adults isn't coming from the underarms or feet. It's coming from just inside the ears. Not deep inside where you'd need a cotton swab, but right at the edge of the ear canal, the part you can see and reach easily with a fingertip or soft cloth. That tiny area, often forgotten in daily hygiene, can quietly collect oils, wax, and environmental debris that over time produce a surprisingly strong scent. As we age, the glands in and around the ears tend to produce more sebum. And with slower cell turnover, those oils mix with dead skin and earwax and start to oxidize. The result is a faint but lingering odor, one that clings to pillowcases, spreads subtly when you turn your head, and can even be transferred when someone leans in for a hug or kiss. And because it happens just beneath your nose's range, you may not notice it, but others often do. The tricky part is, this isn't about earwax buildup deep inside the canal. In fact, you should never be inserting anything into the ear. What we're talking about is the visible, reachable outer rim, just along the front curve and the entrance itself. If you gently run your finger around it and feel a sticky texture, or notice a slight yellowing on a white cloth afterward, chances are this area hasn't been cleaned properly in a while. I once spoke with a woman named Doris, 82, who had immaculate personal hygiene and took great pride in staying fresh. But her daughter gently mentioned that when they sat close, there was a scent that didn't match the rest of her. They finally traced it to her ears. Doris had always avoided touching them too much, thinking they were self-cleaning, as many people are told. But after adding a simple wipe with a warm, damp washcloth along the outer ear and canal entrance into her routine, the change was immediate and lasting. What matters here is consistency and gentleness. You don't need to scrub or use anything harsh. Just wrap your fingertip in a clean, damp cloth, preferably with a touch of mild soap, and gently wipe the outer creases and the entrance of the canal. Follow with a dry cloth to make sure no moisture stays behind. That's it. This one small shift in your routine can make a world of difference, not just in how others perceive you, but in how you feel about yourself. Because freshness isn't just about scent, it's about confidence. It's about knowing you've taken care of every part of yourself, even the parts no one ever told you to think about. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Behind the knees and the lower thigh crease. It's easy to forget the back of the legs. After all, we don't see that area often, and unless we're dealing with pain or stiffness, we rarely think about what's going on behind the knees. But this particular spot, the soft fold where the thigh meets the calf, is a hidden heat trap, and for many older adults, especially those who sit for long periods or wear pants throughout the day, it becomes a quiet source of persistent odor that no amount of body spray can fully cover. Here's why. The area behind the knee is rich in sweat glands and sits in a naturally bent position for much of the day. Number 5. Behind the knees and the lower thigh crease. This fold traps moisture and warmth, particularly when walking, sitting, or lying down. And just like under the arms or beneath skin folds, that warm moisture becomes a breeding ground for odor-producing bacteria. But because it's not a place people often scrub with intention or dry thoroughly after a shower, It quietly gathers a mix of sweat, dead skin, and fabric residue from socks or pants. Over time, this creates a faint, swampy smell that seeps into clothing, transfers to bed sheets, or rises up when someone sits in a chair or car for a long stretch. I remember a gentleman named Rye, 74, who told me he'd replaced his shoes, changed his socks twice a day, and still couldn't figure out why his lower body had a stale odor by the afternoon. He thought it might be his laundry detergent or something medical. But after one close conversation with his wife, they realized the smell was strongest when she knelt beside his chair to help him with his socks. It was coming from behind his knees. Rye started washing that area with a soft cloth and mild soap daily, followed by carefully drying it with a towel. He even used a bit of unscented baby powder to keep the skin dry without irritation. Within days, the odor was gone. Not reduced, gone. And the surprising part? He said he felt lighter on his feet, less self-conscious, more relaxed when people were near. That's the power of paying attention to places no one talks about. It's not that these areas are dirty, it's that they're forgotten. And when they're finally cared for, the difference isn't just physical, it's emotional. You feel fresher, cleaner, more confident moving through the world, knowing that every part of you is being looked after, even the parts you didn't know needed it. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to reflect on something important. Body odor in older age is not a sign of poor hygiene. It's a sign that the body is changing. And the real issue isn't how often we clean. It's whether we're cleaning the right places, with the kind of care and consistency that aging skin and glands actually need. You've just learned about 5 hidden areas most people never think to wash thoroughly: inside the belly button, underneath skin folds, the outer edge of the ears behind the knees, and the entrance of the ear canal. On their own, each one might seem small, but together they can be the quiet source of that scent many older adults struggle with, even when everything else seems spotless. The good news? These areas are easy to reach, simple to clean, and when cared for regularly, they make a dramatic difference. Not just in how you smell, but in how you feel. Because at the heart of all this isn't just cleanliness. It's dignity. It's the right to feel fresh, respected, and confident in your body at every stage of life. And the more we speak openly about the things no one ever told us, the more empowered we become to age well, not just gracefully, but intentionally. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 5 areas surprised you the most? Was there one you hadn't thought about in years? Or one you didn't even know could cause odor? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and share one thing you learned and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts mean a lot to us. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.